Yo, this week on Rodtheplanter, I'm gonna teach y'all how to make mad money in your pajamas. We show some mad signs of growth. And we hang out with the Fulu Child Presents Freedom Night. It was fun, y'all. Y'all can check me out. Body can be anything, you know. I do the gym a lot. Ever since I got back from Afghanistan, I've been doing a lot of calisthenics and stuff though. That's been helping a lot. Recently quit smoking, you know, y'all saw the episode last week. Still been staying with that, so I've been having a lot more lung capacity. That's been great. Nonetheless, man, I like to come out here in the pool about middle of the day when it's like hottest, like noon or so, right after we're done day trading. You're gonna see that here in a minute. I'll show you some day trading stuff, guys. And this is kind of like the reward of that, I guess. I do this every day, about 12. Like I said, just like when it's like super duper hot outside. For a couple reasons. A, like I said, it's a good like break away from the gym sometimes. Like today, I'm like super sore in my legs and stuff. So I'll come out here and like stretch them out. I've been like hobbling around the house. Cause like, you know, like we can't stretch your calf out. I don't know how hard y'all go on y'all's workouts. Getting this set routine, guys, you know, I got the luxury of doing it in the afternoon, but it doesn't fucking matter, dude. I used to have to work in Afghanistan. Like, we'd work 12 hours a day, and then we'd get off, ride like 30 minutes home on the bus, go work out for like an hour, 2 hours, depending on how hard you were getting it. That could be like your second workout of the day. You work out at lunch too. You know what I mean? So that's like a 14, 15 hour day. So you're working all day on your feet, moving around with your hands. You know, it's hard work with your hands, 12 hours. Then to go lift, the gym, 2 hours and stuff. People make so many excuses about why they can't like live a healthy lifestyle. And it's really not hard, man. It's not about like being all gimmicky or show off of like pools or whatever. You know, I'm dead serious about this stuff, the spirit, mind, and body, man. And I think so many people, even really successful people, they sell themselves short on their body practices, man, and taking care of themselves. And that's why they die out here, man. Heart attacks and strokes and all that shit. You know, they're all fat and out of shape. It's hard to enjoy your life. And I don't know, man, do things, run around with your kids, you know, come out here to beautiful pools or around the world, you know, whatever, and to get to enjoy life, you know, taking care of your body is instrumental in that attack process. So, whatever, man, as I came out here to do this intro, you know, I just thought about that, take care of your body. You know, the crew does it all kinds of different ways. You see Ali skating out here and stuff, whatever. Sometimes stay fit, me and him hit the gym every day together. That's my little workout buddy. Young Mac, old Mac Heath, man. He's always deep in the gym, staying healthy, staying fit, trying to stay on his Adidas game, you know, and become a model for them and the sports, you know, athlete and stuff. So, I mean, all my crew, they all try to stay as healthy as possible, live healthy lifestyles, and consistently, you know, day in, day out. It's really not to flash, guys. I mean, I really honestly believe in this stuff. It'll always play a toll, you know. We talk about the law of reciprocating energy. It will always come back to play in some way, shape, or form, whether it be, you know, blood sugar is going out of whack, or the body, you know, starts to come aligned and out of balance, and it will start to create dis-ease. You know, that's the word. Disease is dis-ease in the body, and that comes from just being out of balance, you know, not taking care of yourself. So get out here, take care of yourself, do something fun, do something, you know, that get the heart rate pumping. It doesn't have to always be like a slow, shitty grind or like running 10 miles, you know, just stay active. That's all. Technical tips. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Rod's technical tips. Technical tips. What is technical tips? Technical tips is a segment of our show where I'm gonna teach y'all some shit that I already know, shit that I'm kind of good at. You know, I have the skill of technical trading. I'm not an expert at it, obviously, by any means, but I want to give you guys an example of how easy this stuff is and how anybody, even you, could learn how to do it, you know, in a matter of a summer. You know, you can spend this summer banging on it, you know, 6-7 hours a day, and you can learn the skill of technical trading, and that would give you the opportunity to make money from home if you were excited about maybe starting a business where you could work on your own time, you know, making just about as much money as you can really fathom, or as far as you can take it. You know, you will have to work up front, guys. I always tell people this isn't a get-rich-quick scheme. It comes easy. You know, this won't be a hard journey, you know, but it will take time, guys. It's not going to happen overnight. You're not just going to be able to, you know, start today and the next week be making $1 million as a day trader. It doesn't work that way. But if you take your time to learn it, you know, like I said, approach it as something like Michael Jordan would approach basketball, or any professional approaches a craft that they have. They approach it by learning from the ground up, you know, as an actual skill that they can reproduce. So it's Monday. It's about 10:15 right now, a.m. Monday morning, and I just wanted to come in and show you guys a little glimpse of what this skill that I've developed is, right? You know, and it's the skill of technical trading. You know, so the ability to read a price chart and to analyze that price chart to predict what the market's going to do next, so that I can invest my money, whether that be buying more of a certain currency or selling more of a certain currency. And when that price goes up or down, we make money. Today on the technical tip, I just want to show you what I use to day trade currencies on the Forex market. I use a strategy called the ABCD pattern, or actually XABCD pattern, also known as Gartley patterns. Gartley is the first person to come up with this pattern, or, you know, find this pattern in the charts and in the markets. He found these patterns, and these patterns he found to be like 80% profitable, up to 80%. So it's like 60 to 80% win rate to some of these patterns. And with that kind of win rate, guys, I mean, you know, you can't miss, obviously. It's a great little strategy. I've been using it now for a little over a year. I've been through a couple other strategies as I've been learning the skill of technical trading, because technical trading isn't just one thing. You know, there's think of it as like a toolbox, and you learn a bunch of different tools. You maybe have a hammer and a screwdriver, but these are a bunch of different strategies to help you in different market conditions. I don't expect you to be able to go out and nail a Gartley pattern right on your first time picking up a chart. This isn't going to be an in-depth lesson of how to actually like make this Gartley pattern. I just want to show you, for some of those people who are less experienced, who might not have ever seen a price chart or something like that, I want you guys to see how simple this process really could be. See that if a schmuck like me could do it and learn this skill, then you out there could definitely learn this and add this to your little toolkit of ways that you make money and maximize your profits out here, so that you can just enjoy your time, man, enjoy your life. Check it out. Okay, guys, we got ourselves a price chart pulled up here, okay? And right now you can see we're looking at the Aussie USD chart. So all that means is that this is a measurement, or you know how a graph or a chart works, right? So we have a price over here on the right side, and we have our time over here on the bottom. Okay, this is a daily chart. So what that means is each one of these candlesticks here is 1 day. And you know, you should be able to see the terms here on the bottom. I'm gonna put these terms in here for you guys so that you can kind of stay along with some of the words that I'm using, because a lot of day trading, guys, is just figuring out the vocabulary, honestly, I swear. Okay, so each one of these candlesticks represents 1 day. And essentially what my job is, or you know, with the skill that we use here, is we look for patterns in these price charts. So if I zoom out a little bit, you'll see like this is the chart over the course of the last year or so. And price moves up and down, you know, depending on what the markets are doing, what each government is doing, you know, the economy. So, you know, the US dollar gets stronger, then the, you know, you can get more Aussie dollars per US dollar. And as the US dollar gets weak, or as the Aussie gets strong, then price goes down, right? Opposite. So you don't really need to know why the price is moving up and down per se. You just need to know that it is, right? Because everything we do in technical trading is just based off of what this chart is doing here. Finding support and resistance levels, which are just, you know, places where price action, this is price action, what the price is doing, the action of the price, where it's stopping and starting and turning around, you know, and identifying these levels. All that being said, let me show you the exact strategy I use and how simple this could actually be. Okay, guys, this is called an ABCD, or I'm sorry, excuse me, XABCD pattern. The one specifically I'm going to be showing you here is called the cipher pattern. Okay, and the cipher pattern, that's CYPHER, cipher pattern. Here also you can see I had another one drawn out. This was a Gartley pattern, but I'll show you that one in a second. So essentially what the pattern does, and here I got this, my trading plan pulled up here. Let's see if we find the cipher pattern. So these are my trading strategies, right? And the strategy I'm showing you guys right now is called the cipher pattern. And essentially what the cipher pattern does is it follows these sets of rules, right? And it's a if-then thought process is what they'll teach you over at Trading Power. But essentially all this is like a checklist, guys. So if this happens, then I look for this to happen. Then if this happens, I look for this to happen. And then if this happens, I look for this, and that will give me the opportunity to get in with these entries, stops, and targets. Entry, stops, and targets, guys, all that is what price do I actually buy something or sell something at. And then stops is something I put in to protect myself in case I'm wrong. It's an order going the opposite direction to kind of stop me out, essentially what it's called, or close my trade if price starts to go in a different direction than I thought it would go. You're not always going to be right, as you'll see later on this Gartley that I'll show you. This is actually a losing pattern. That's one big fallacy people have in day trading is it's not about being right every single time, guys. It's just about being right more times than you're wrong. You guys got to get a slight little edge on the market, and if you can get a slight edge, then you can just repeat that over and over and over. That being said, let's go ahead and identify one of these patterns, and I'll show you how easy it is. Now, again, like I said, it's taken me a couple months of studying. I had to get through the candlesticks. I had to get through learning what a pip was, and how all the things in the charts work and all the drawing tools. But we use something called a Fibonacci retracement or Fibonacci measurements in this pattern trading that I do. The beautiful thing about Fibonacci is that there's so much math that goes into this Fibonacci tool that we'll be using, but it's just such a beautiful example of modern technology in the sense that this tool that we have here, this Fibonacci retracement and extension tool, is going to do all that math for us. And then also in the idea that the Fibonacci man, he really had it's smart. If he's a classic or old school, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, mathematician from like the early 1800s, maybe. I don't know. I have to look up a history lesson on him, but nonetheless, he identified this thing called the Fibonacci growth spiral or the Fibonacci spiral. You might have heard of the golden ratio. He essentially was the one that discovered that math is the fundamental building block of our entire universe. And you see it in anything from seashells and the way that the human body grows in proportion and ratios. This idea of a golden ratio or 61.8% of something is falls heavily into day trading here as well. So you see, as I stretch out that little tool or whatnot, it plots out a bunch of different percentages here, and one of them what we'll be looking for is that 618. But again, like I said, all these percentages are based off of just Fibonacci. Okay, don't need to know how to get those numbers. You just need to know how to measure them. It's beautiful. So what I do is I start by looking for an impulse leg, which is just something like this, guys. Something with one of these strong moves. Right? You see one here. We see another one here. These are called impulse legs. You even see one here. Here's a long one where the price just juts up, obviously, going in an opposite direction, right? From which way it came. So we look for one of those, and that's how we start to see our patterns and start to make for our first measurement. So as we see this one jut down, we say, oh man, that's a strong, little impulse leg. Let me go ahead and measure this. Now obviously I'm looking at old data, guys, like it's already happened, so we can see what's happening in the future and whatnot. But I'm gonna just go ahead and scroll over and assume like it was happening in real time. This is how the charts kind of populate as you're going in real time. The little candlesticks will tick over here to the right, as time goes on. And obviously over a couple of days, because we're on a daily chart, so this isn't going to happen in a matter of seconds, guys. Like, it literally took probably almost 2 weeks just for this one leg to form. So you can see that you could have time to really study and figure this stuff out. And the first thing I'm looking for, right, is I'm looking for a retracement of this leg. We call this an X to A leg. So I'm looking for a retracement of this leg, meaning I'm looking for the next move to come up about 38.2% of this one. This from here to here, okay, X to A. This is your X anchor right here at the top, and then this is our A anchor right here, this making it B. Remember we said X, A, B. Next we're looking for a C. Stay with me. I know that this sounds complicated right now, but trust me, it is not as complicated as it seems once you've actually gotten to learning how the measurements work and how the retracements work. So hit F9 for our little Fibonacci extension tool, and then measure that leg out, and we got that, right? So right here, it hit exactly what we were looking for. We did cross that 12, but we didn't cross. So it turns around right in here, making us a valid C leg. Bang, bang, bang. And so all I do is on this one, we look for a retracement of our entire pattern. So I would draw it out from all the way from the top to all the way to the bottom, and I'm looking for this 786 retracement here. Alright, so it's just if then. So since I got check, 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 all I need is a check here, and we have us a successful pattern created. And we end up getting a 786 here. Bang, just like that. And this would complete our cipher pattern. And patterns look like this. They always look like two little triangles of some sort. Sometimes they're up, sometimes they're down. But nonetheless, you learn to find these little triangle patterns here. And as you see, we would have placed a trade somewhere in here. Is where we would have actually placed our trade. And we would have actually turned a profit. Let's see here. About 140 pips or so, 130 pips. Yeah, about 140 pips. Again, you'll see what a pip is here. I'll put it on the screen, but that's just a measure of how many ticks this little chart has moved. But depending on how much dollars you put on these pips, you know, if you're trading $1 per pip, or maybe say you're trading $10 per pip, at $10 a pip and 150 pips, I mean, you do the math, you can make an easy 1,500 bucks just in that one, say, week as price turns over from this D leg. So, and then once it gets here, we close our trade. We have a series of, just like we had a stop, we have a series to find our targets of where we want to actually close our trade and take our money. Can't just sit out here forever. Guys, that's it. And really, that's my whole day. To really make it even seem simpler, there's actually a software out here that we have that can find these patterns for you. And so it'll actually scan the charts throughout as they go and make those measurements for me. I don't even have to do those measurements by hand. It'll do all that for me and just populate a little chart or like a little pattern that looks like this whenever it's ready to go. And so as you can see, these patterns, they just complete all the time, and we're always looking for them. Like, see, I would look and see if maybe this is one. You measure it out, and you say, oh, okay, you know, see what kind of retracements you get. And so it's just a lot of that, guys, using this tool to measure and find out when these patterns complete. And whenever they do, I make my trade. You know, I have about 4 different patterns that we trade here. And we just do that if and then. It's just about creating a system, creating a strategy, guys. We've talked about this in other aspects of our lives, not just in day trading, but about, you know, setting rules or setting a system that we can just replicate. And then once it's learned and once it's, you know, committed to our memory and engraved, where we can do it like almost in our sleep. You know, if you look at like a Peyton Manning, he could pretty much throw a touchdown any day of the week, anytime, proficiently. So you want to get that way too with this. You don't want to just take a half-ass lesson like this or something and go out and try and trade something like this. I encourage you to go out there and try and study this and not be afraid because you think that, you know, it's so esoteric. I don't know anything about math, or, you know, I don't know anything about how governments and economics work and all those things. You don't need to know any of that stuff, guys. If you can just learn how these tools work and read how it measures, you guys could also make money in the stock market or in the Forex market or anything. Learning a price chart, how to read a price chart, is just a fundamental skill that you should learn, guys. Whether or not you go and learn ABCD patterns or actually how to day trade, learning how to read one of these charts can really tell you a lot about how, you know, something is valued in the marketplace and how to make investments or you know, be able to do your own research into some kind of financial instrument so that you don't have to be fed what else somebody else thinks about what would be a profitable move for you or what would be a profitable system for you. You'd be able to look at your own charts and do your own kind of analysis on something that you were interested in investing in. So guys, this is just a skill that I have. Check it out. Well guys, there you have it. You know, a little bit of day trading action for you. We usually start off our mornings about 5 a.m. or so, be on the charts about 6 a.m. Got to do some news, so what we do is just read and make sure, you know, go over the headlines, make sure there's no crazy news things happening that day. The charts are going to go all wonky. And essentially we get in here in the day and we start reading those price charts and just looking. We'll sit here for from about 5 a.m.-ish to about 11 usually. And then at 11 we usually pack it up and put everything else, you know, on auto trade, I guess, essentially, or set our trades for the day. And we go about the rest of our day, you know, banging on our other business plans and creating the other things that we want to create out here in the world. So one thing I love about day trading is that it just offers me that kind of flexibility in life. You can work when you want to. You know, I choose to trade the New York session, London session crossover, which is in the morning, and you know, the busiest time for day trading, but you can easily do it in the afternoon or nighttime or whatever the case. But a lot of you guys asked me questions about it, and so I wanted to just show you a little insight as to what it looks like when I'm doing that and what kind of took me and what I had to learn to do it. But really, it's just about learning how to use tools. Just like anything else we talk about here on Rodtheplanter is, you know, learning your tools and then taking those tools and developing them into a strategy and putting that strategy into a plan and then executing on that plan over and over until, you know, you see the results that you want. If your plan isn't working or whatever, then adjust the strategies inside that plan. So either way, technical tips for you guys this week. I hope you learned something. Like I said, it's not to be a end-all be-all lesson for you, but just enough to whet your chops. Maybe get you out there on Google, or go check out my guys at tradingpower.com if you want to learn some more stuff about, you know, ABCD patterns or day trading in general and what it really takes to become a professional trader. Hey yo, appreciate y'all hanging out with me, man. That was fun. I'll see y'all again next week. RtP 24. We're gonna come with some great content. We're gonna start shooting Rick Moore's video next week, so it's gonna be fun, man. Come check us out. Growth happening. Of course, I'm gonna keep teaching you guys everything I know. That way we can all grow together, grow something, grow together. I love y'all. Thanks for hanging.